Father, we thank you for gathering today of our annual general meeting. We bless you because you have made us to be a partaker in this year's meeting, despite the situation we have found ourselves. We ask that you be with us as we commence our meeting, and we ask for progress, for development of our bank. We ask, O Lord, for you to intervene in this difficult time so that everything we are doing will be to your glory. We ask that you help us so that this situation we have found ourselves will be brought to control and we will all be back to normalcy in our business. We pray for all those who have come from far to join us, whether by proxy or not. Lord, we ask that, oh Father, we join our minds together, that we are going to see to the progress of our bank, we are going to see to the development of our country, and you are going to grant us the grace to continue in this right direction that we are doing for our bank. We pray, O Lord, that you continue to guide us, you continue to lead us, and you continue to prosper all that we are doing. We ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, annual general meeting of the company, for which notices have been given to members of the company having the rights to attend and vote thereat, and all other persons entitled to receive such notices. I declare that a quorum has been formed as required by the company's Articles of Association, and I now declare the meeting open. We have shareholders, regulators, and other critical stakeholders who are present here either physically or by proxy or online through virtual devices. I most sincerely and humbly welcome you all. This is a trying time for all nations of the world as COVID-19 pandemic rages. Businesses have been altered and means of livelihood for many homes are now negatively affected. The modus operandi for businesses is facing a new paradigm as physical and social contacts are now being curtailed. Our AGM today is being conducted in line with this new normal. Post-pandemic, businesses are not going to be as usual, as we are now compelled to adjust to this new reality. Zoom, Google Hangout, GoToMeeting, Google Meet, Skype for Business, and other virtual communicating and teleconferencing technologies have become indispensable tools of conducting businesses. Business offices have been technically extended to our homes, as working from home is becoming a safe haven. Your bank has dimensioned the short and long-term implications of this pandemic to our business. I am assuring you that your bank has all it takes to sustain improved performances despite the lockdown occasioned by this COVID-19 pandemic. During the period of lockdown, our online channels were active to service our customers. We are working hard to improve and expand on these channels. The board and the management are proactive as planning for expansion of our online services was envisaged and included in the 2020 approved budget. The deployment made it very easy to render some services to our customers during the lockdown. As we face further challenges that this pandemic will bring, I am assuring you, our shareholders, that your board and the management are fully prepared to give all it takes to remain profitable, get stronger, and become more resilient by returning year in, year out better performances. This is reflected in this year's proposed dividend of 3.5 kobo per share as against 3 kobo per share declared in the preceding year. The federal government of Nigeria, state governments, health authorities, and regulatory agencies have issued a number of guidelines and directives aimed at curbing the spread of COVID-19 in Nigeria. Particularly, Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, prohibited the gathering of more than 25 people, while the CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission, issued guidelines on holding AGM of public companies by proxy. The convening and conduct of this AGM shall be done in compliance with these directives and guidelines. In the interest of transparency and wider participation, we sent links to our shareholders to join this meeting virtually. Many of them are already connected and therefore part of this meeting. In line with the approval given by the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, to hold this meeting by proxy, kindly note that we can only deliberate on ordinary business of the day. For the shareholders and other stakeholders who are attending virtually, kindly note that your devices are placed on mute to avoid background interferences. The host shall only unmute whoever has the turn to speak. You can express your interest to speak using the chat menu by sending only your full name and the subject you wish to speak on to the host only. You will be given time to speak in turns. Where necessary, the host shall unmute all. Also note that this meeting shall rely more on the shareholders and their proxies physically present for motions and related conduct of elections. This is an unusual time and unusual procedure. I crave your understanding and cooperation for the smooth conduct of this meeting. Thank you. Audited accounts. The next item on the agenda is to receive and consider the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2019, together with the report of the directors, auditors, and the audit committee thereon. I believe that you have all received a copy of the annual reports and accounts of your bank for the financial year ended 31st December 2019. If you turn to pages 15 to 22 of the report, you will find the report of the directors, and with your permission, I will take those reports as read. Thank you. The original accounts and copies duly signed are available at this meeting for verification. I now call on the representative of our external auditors, who has joined us online, to read to the meeting the report of the auditors for the year ended 31st December 2019. This can be found from page 75 to page 79. The financial statements and the notes to it can also be found from page 82 to page 184. The auditors now have the floor to read the report to the meeting.
Statement of profit or loss, statement of the other comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flow for the year then ended, and notes to the financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. The basis of our opinion is that we conducted the audit in accordance with international standard of auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of financial statements of our reports. We are independent of the mortgage bank in accordance with the code of ethics of professional accountants issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, and we have fulfilled our ethical responsibility in accordance with the code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Which is the report on the other reviews and regulatory requirements. The company allied us and the bank and require that we carry our audit with consistency and forced to care on problem. We confirm that we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of the audit. The mortgage bank has kept proper books of accounts so far as appears from our examinations of those books, and returns adequate for our audit have been received from the branches of the bank not visited by us. The mortgage bank statement of financial position and the comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts. The information required by the Central Bank of Nigeria, circular PSD/12004 on insider-related credits is disclosed in note 38 to the financial statement. And lastly, there were no penalties paid for contraventions of the bank and other financial institutions act during the year. Signed for Aminu Ibrahim Ampo, dated 30th January 2020.
Thank you, Mr. Olabode.
Thank you.
I now call for the chairperson of the audit committee, Mrs. Okwa Ene Iyana, who is present online, to present the report of the audit committee to the members of the company. The report is on page 80. Mrs. Iyana.
Thank you. The report of the audit committee. In compliance with the provisions of section 359, subsection 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20, LFN 2004, we confirm that the accounting and reporting policies of the bank were in accordance with statutory requirements and agreed ethical practices. In our opinion, the scope and planning of both the internal and external audits for the year ended 31st December 2019 were adequate. We have also received, reviewed and discussed the audit report on management matters and were satisfied with the responses thereof. The committee reviewed the audit report on related party transactions and are satisfied with their status as required by the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN). The committee also reviewed the IFRS disclosure requirements and is satisfied with the disclosures thereof. The internal control system of the bank is also being constantly and effectively monitored. Dated and signed 29th January 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Iyada.
Thank you.
For us as shareholders, we believe that this will help us to solve some liquidity challenges that we'll be experiencing. I will just be pleading with you, Mr. Chairman, to see what you can do to always reduce the payment date. You know, we expect that once we have given you the concept now, we should be able to, after the meeting, to receive our money. So we'll be looking forward to you, Mr. Chairman, to please consider that. And Mr. Chairman, one of the things going for this board is the attendance. Part of the issue of corporate governance is board attendance meeting. And when you check page 68 and 69 of the financial report, Mr. Chairman, you will find out that board members take high responsibility in attending the board meetings. And this shows their level of commitment. This shows their level of loyalty and dedication to the business of the bank. We want to commend you in this direction, and we also urge that efforts should be made to address issues that are raised on that page 73 of the board evaluation report. And when you go down there the line, Mr. Chairman, one of those challenges that was raised by the evaluator is the issue of induction for board members. We must take absolute interest in developing, enhancing the skill of the board members. We want to commend the managing director for always coming forth to present his annual report and then financial to the public. We have seen how when they went to the NSC, and we have seen the facts behind the figure. So it's a promising bank, and you can see on page 79 that no wonder there was no penalty. A lot of banks have been charged penalty and institutions, but since the assumption of the MD, he has made it a point of duty to always go in line with time in presentation of the financial statement. Mr. Chairman, on page 84 is what I want you to see what can be done, because I said we need to be very proactive. The times are very difficult for us, but I will not know what the board is thinking in the direction of capitalization. We need to look at a situation where we got, if you check the we have about 2 billion, and there's need for us to position ourselves to greater challenges, because we are talking about capitalization of insurance company. Very soon, Mr. Chairman, we don't know what the wonder man CBN will bring out in terms of issue of mortgage industry. And I understand it's already out, but what are we doing to be in the front line? What are we doing to position ourselves to these challenges that is coming to? Mr. Chairman, I would also like to draw your attention on the need to give us your direction, as I've said, post-COVID, to cushion the effects from us from the perspective of shareholder, we expect that governments, through central bank and mortgage financing regulatory agency, to, as a matter of urgency, help work out palliative for the real estate industry in order to sustain investment and save millions of jobs and sustain the production of housing for low and medium income earners. We will discover that, Mr. Chairman, the challenges we are having now globally is the fact that this COVID has crippled so many businesses. So many sectors are suffering, and of course, the mortgage industry is not immune to it. And as such, every responsible government will try to protect industries, banks, airline, manufacturing sector. They need for adequate protection because they are the employers of labor. And if you don't protect them, a lot of jobs will be lost. And you can see what CBN quickly came out with when we discovered that banks want to sack their staff. Such is not good. This is a difficult time, and most of them are also earning income from that. So, government is thereby urged to intervene through stimulus and help this sector. Mr. Chairman, we also will employ government to also make it easy to obtain a registered title for development and the planning approval process in Nigeria. This will aid the manufacturing sector. Mr. Chairman, on the final note, Mr. Chairman, is to call on you and the board members that it's a difficult time, and for us to sustain this industry is for us to look at cost optimization. In whatsoever we are doing, we must now be able to match our revenue with our costs. Otherwise, we'll find it difficult to sustain our profitability. I want you to do as much as possible to ensure that no staff is sacked in your bank. Rather than sacking them, we can go by way of reduction of emolument. But to sack them will be very, very wrong, Mr. Chairman, and unhelpful to the economy. Remember, Mr. Chairman, that insecurity is propelled by unemployment. And so we must do our best, though it's very difficult, to continue to sustain the jobs of most of our staff. While commending you, Mr. Chairman, I want to tell you that shareholders are with you in body and in spirit to ensure that we navigate throughout this period to a successful point. And by so doing, Mr. Chairman, anytime you call on us, when you are coming out for addressing the issue of capitalization, we will be there for you. And we pray that they will continue to sustain this dividend payment. We pray that the bank will continue to sustain this growth in their asset base, and also that the bank will remain a pioneer and a firm that is dictating in the sector. Right now, Infinity Trust is the only bank in the mortgage industry that is still remaining floating and doing well. We commend you, and we ask that God will continue to sustain you. Thank you, and God bless you.
I'm the president of Capital Shareholder Association. Mr. Augustine Nemeke Ezechukwu. So, Mr. Chairman, we have to thank God for a day like this. I salute the courage of the company and the management for taking this practical opportunity to make sure we are within the ambit of the law. Plus the trend in this CONIVE 19. So thank you for taking these steps to make sure everything is in line with the core mandates. Looking at page 5 of the annual report, that speaks volume. That is very impressive performance under the harsh economic condition we find ourselves. So, the total asset of the company grew from 10 billion 351 492 94 kobo to 10 billion 644 million 545,288 these are evidence that the company is doing very well. The gross earnings is the same positive indices. These are proof that the company is doing well, which makes every investor to be very attractive and very interested to invest in any company of this magnitude. So looking at the awards, which we find on page 33, this shows we are on the line too, that we are doing well. So and today is not a day of speech making, so we have to make it brief so that we can comply with all the rules and regulations. So on behalf of my fellow shareholders and members of my team, we thank you and then wish you the best, and believe that at the end of this program, all of us will be able to comply with the rules and regulations of 2019. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick and Mr. Augustine Emeka Ezechukwu. As you have alluded to, 2019 was a challenging year, and 2020 is far, far more challenging, because nobody envisaged that there will be something called COVID-19 that will lock the world into their closets. Businesses are witnessing very trying times. Households are equally feeling the pain, in fact, the more. You raise very critical points. I would like to address them one by one and briefly. We're doing a lot to ensure that the capacity of our board is improved, and we have training for our board members every year. Thank you for equally noting that we are a law-abiding institution. We comply to all rules and regulations as given to us by our regulators. On capitalization, we are working hard to ensure we solve up our capital base. We understand the fact that business is not going to be as usual any longer. Even when we look at what dollar and naira rates is doing now, it's very, very imperative for us to look inward and see how we can move up our capital. We've been on this for about 2 years. We've been working on so many initiatives to get this done. But you will agree with me that this is even not the right time to look for capital, as we might not be able to get good investors that will invest now. Maybe after the COVID, we'll be able to see clearly where the world is going to. But we are not resting. We are equally looking for investors far and wide, institutional investors and private investors as well, to join us. On federal government palliative, I'm sure we all know that CBN already has agenda for real estate, which include the mortgage institutions too. We know the multiplier effect of ensuring there is demand is stimulated in the housing sector. If demand is stimulated in the housing sector, entrepreneurs, investors will not look too far to invest, because the first thing for investor is to be sure that what is producing or what is investing on is going to yield results. And for people producing houses, real estate developers, what they need to know is that there is a ready buyer, effective buyer for their houses. Once they know there is buyer for their houses, there are buyers for their houses, they will definitely continue building. And if you look at the CBN circular on this, there is palliative for real estate, but it has to come with confirmed off-takers. So that shows how very crucial demand in the housing sector is. So, and to increase demand in the housing sector, it is equally important for mortgage institutions to be assisted one way or the other. We are in a very difficult situation. There is no way we can go to the market now and get enough capital that we need. So we are looking forward to the palliative from CBN to ensure that the capacity of mortgage institutions is increased to stimulate demand that we needed most in the market. We are working a lot too on cost optimization. We are not looking at laying off staff. We are looking at so many measures. But if it becomes expedient to reduce the number of staff, there is nothing we can do because we can't hit our cake and have it. If you say we should pursue cost optimization, how do you optimize your cost when you know your workload has reduced? There is nothing you can do than, to lay off some staff if it becomes expedient. For instance, if you have like 20 branches and you discover that before COVID, four out of these 20 branches are not profitable. So why are you keeping them during COVID? When you close up the branches, what do you want to do? Unless there is a palliative that assists us to ensure that we meet this cost optimization, then options of rationalizing staff would maybe jettisoned. But for now, it is part of options for not only Infinity, for many other institutions as well. And thank you, Mr. Eze. Nothing much to respond to you than to just say thank you for the observation to keep on delighting all our shareholders. And just as Chairman said in his opening remark, we are ready to even achieve better results this year, despite all odds. Thank you so much.
Government titles.
Once we get the approval of the AGM today, we'll move the money to our registrar, and we expect our registrar to pay by Monday latest.
Government titles.
When the process very easy for you.
Yes, it is part of the requirement that the Mortgage Bank Association of Nigeria has tabled before our regulator, the way they can assist us. Government to government might be easier than individual to government. So we are exploring all avenues to ensure this bottleneck that is frustrating mortgage business and housing delivery, affordable housing delivery, is curtailed. You agree with me that it makes no sense. You want to buy a house and you need 15 million naira. You would now need to pay like 3 million naira for perfection to government. It doesn't make sense. Okay? So for us to increase affordability, we have to look at the revenue aspects that government look at various levels to reduce to a barest minimum for us to be able to move forward to the sector. Thank you so much. Thank you, my chairman.
Thank you, MD. There being no further comments, may I then move that the audited financial reports, directors' reports, external auditors' reports, reports of the audit committee, and the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2019, now laid before this meeting, be received and adopted. Can someone please second this motion? Thank you, Mr. Augustine. So noted. Are there any questions before this motion is put to the meeting? In the absence of further questions, may I call on those in support of this motion to indicate by saying yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. May I also call? Thank you. May I also call on those against to indicate by saying no?
They are far away, sir.
I now declare the motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the declaration of final dividend. Ladies and gentlemen, the directors are recommending a dividend of 3.5 kobo per every ordinary share of 50 kobo, held as at the close of business on 31st December 2019. If approved, the total dividend to be paid to shareholders for the financial year ended 31st December 2019 will be 145 965,600 naira 20 kobo only. I hereby move that a gross dividend of 145,965,600 naira 20 kobo only in respect of the financial year ended 31st December 2019 be paid to all shareholders registered in the books of the bank as at the closure of register on the 9th of March 2020 and hereby declared. Will someone please second the motion?
I hereby second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick. Are there questions arising out of this motion?
No, sir.
Would all those in favor of this motion indicate by saying yes?
Yes.
Would anyone objecting to the motion please signify by saying no? I declare the motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the confirmation of appointment of directors. May I crave your indulgence to move a motion to take the re-election of the 3 directors by a single resolution.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your support and understanding. I hereby move that the reappointment of General Danladi Pena, retired, Alhaji Abubakar Mohammed, and Mrs. Iyana Okwa, who are retiring by rotation in accordance with the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2004, and who, being eligible, now offer themselves for re-election as directors, be considered and approved. Will someone please second the motion? Thank you. Are there questions arising out of this motion?
No questions.
Thank you all. Will all those in favor of this motion indicate by saying yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Would anyone objecting to this motion please signify by saying no? I declare the motion carried. General Danladi Pena, retired, Alhaji Abubakar Mohammed, and Mrs. Iyana Okwa are now returned elected as directors. Appointment of auditors. The next business of the day is reappointment of external auditors. In accordance with Section 375, subsection 2 of CAMA.
Mr. Chairman, point of correction.
Yes, please.
The auditors are not reappointed because they have a fixed period of stay. It is when that period expires that you come for an appointment to be ratified. What we only will do is to fix the remuneration of the external auditor in line with Section 214 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act. It gives us the power to fix their remuneration, but not for somebody who has a tenure of appointments for us to be appointing every year. It's like somebody who you give a job and contract employment, and that's every year I'll be giving you a new letter. No, it's not that. Section 214 is very clear about that.
How many years is the appointment?
I will respond to that.
Okay. So thank you. So noted. May I call on the MD to respond to that?
External auditors appointment is not fixed, but it is regulatory that you must not have external auditor for more than 10 years. So for any reason, if there is need to change the external auditor, you can still change it before that 10 years. So what we have done is just to demonstrate that we haven't changed the external auditor. And part of the resolution is also to fix the remuneration of the external auditor, which is the statutory
Yes, that's
duty
what I
of the
said.
AGM.
You don't need
as
to
well.
ask for a reappointment since you don't change them. It's when you change them that you confirm the appointment.
Okay,
There are some things
not that is wrong, because
Yes.
the appointment that we gave to the external auditor did not specify when it's going to last. So it can be terminated at any time. Thank you.
So noted. In accordance with Section 375, subsection 2 of CAMA, I hereby move that Messrs. Aminu Ibrahim and Co. be reappointed as the company auditors for the year ending December 31st, 2020, and that the directors are authorized to fix the auditor's remuneration. Can someone please rise and second the motion? Thank you.
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Please note it. Are there any questions before the motion is put to the meeting? I now put the motion to the meeting. Will those in favor of this motion please signify by saying yes?
Yes.
Thank you all. Will those against indicate by saying no? I hereby declare that the motion was duly carried. Election of the members of the Statutory Audit Committee. The next business of the day is the election of the members of the Statutory Audit Committee of the company. Following good work done, your directors have reappointed Mrs. Okwa Ene Iyana, Mr. Akin Arikawe, OON, and Mr. Dada Ademokoya to represent them as Statutory Audit Committee members till the next AGM. They are present here and online. Thank you. In accordance with Section 359, subsections 4, 5, and 6 of CAMA and the National Code of Corporate Governance, which indicates that some members of the audit committee, should be knowledgeable in internal control processes, I hereby report that the following shareholders have been validly nominated by some of you as Statutory Audit Committee members: Mr. Franklin Akiyosoye, Mr. Lawrence Wele, Mr. Oweye Olusegun Emmanuel. They are all present online. I will call them one after the other. Please, when you are called, say hello to announce your presence. Mr. Franklin Akiyosoye. Mr. Lawrence Wele. Mr. Oweye Olusegun Emmanuel. Thank you. Since we need 3 members and 3 members have been validly nominated, if no objection arising from their nominations, may I propose that they should be jointly voted for. I need someone to second this proposal.
Mr. Chairman, I second this.
Thank you, please. In the absence of no further questions arising from these, I will now put the vote to the meeting. I hereby call on those in favor of the appointment of Mr. Franklin Akiyosoye, Mr. Lawrence Wele, and Mr. Oweye Olusegun Emmanuel as shareholders representatives in the Statutory Audit Committee of your bank to indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Those against should also indicate by saying no. Thank you. I hereby declare that Messrs. Franklin Akiyosoye, Mr. Lawrence Wele, and Mr. Oweye Olusegun Emmanuel have been validly elected by the shareholders as members of the Statutory Audit Committee. This makes 6 members with equal representation from both the directors and the shareholders in line with CAMA. Thank you. Comments from members. The floor is now open for any observations, comments, and suggestions from members on any issue pertaining to the company.
Mr. Chairman, in this regard, I want to express our appreciation for the way the board have taken, seriously their shareholders, because some companies, Mr. Chairman, this year do declare dividend and then go back again and reduce those dividends as a result of the COVID situation. But the board and management still give us that dividend that we propose. And we thank God we passed it today. We want it to be on record of appreciation to the board, and we look forward to a better dividend and better company. Number 2 is that, Mr. Chairman, we want to implore you that you should remain consistent. Government may not be there for you, but the shareholders will always be there for you. And we pray that with their support, we should be able to continue to weather the storm. It's a difficult environment, but I believe that it takes only the strong to continue in a perfect direction. So my comment is an encouraging word for you, and to tell you that we are all watching and we are seeing your performance, and we want you to continue in this right direction. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Concludes the formal business of the annual general meeting. I now declare the meeting closed. May I call on the member to say the closing prayer.
Heavenly Father Almighty, we thank you for today. Father, it is your wish that everything comes to a conclusion in a very good order. We thank you and wish the board a very nice business. They are going to go back to the drawing board and see all those areas, those gray hairs, they need to go back and see them pull through so that the company will continue to grow well. With the shareholders, we give you a promise that we're going to be with you anytime you call on us. We'll always give you your support. Heavenly Father, take care of us as we go back to our respective places. Keep us safe from all this pandemic and other necessary opportunities we need from you. Keep us your support. All these are not necessary. We pray through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.